They have avenues that they are pursuing. I know this. I know this on one count, absolutely.
So new leads and brand new video just into the newsroom of the search for Nancy Guthrie. This is now in day 11 now. FBI agents are conducting an extensive search along multiple roadways in the Catalina foothills area. And that's where we are as we kick off a brand new hour here, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John.
Good to see you as well, Sandra. What a roller coaster this is. I'm John Roberts in Washington. This is America Reports. Still no suspects in the case so far. NBC says tips have increased dramatically after the FBI released new video of a potential subject during this hour yesterday. You'll remember those surreal images at her front door. Federal agents were back searching the area around Annie Guthrie's home. That was on Tuesday night.
All right, all eyes go back to those cameras located along the route between the two Guthrie homes and whether there is more evidence yet to be uncovered. Fox team coverage. Paul Mauro is at the Pima County Sheriff's Office with brand new analysis.
But we begin with our senior correspondent, Alicia Acuna. She is outside of Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson. We just got information about some new searches. Alicia, what's going on?
That's right, John. And we just received a statement from the FBI regarding this activity that is going on right now. It reads, this morning, numerous FBI agents are conducting an extensive search along multiple roadways in the Catalina foothills area related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. We are asking the media and motorists to follow all traffic laws and to remain especially cautious when passing law enforcement personnel near the roadways. And this is video from one of our producers who saw investigators walking along the median on the route from Nancy to Annie Guthrie's house. Now, the FBI director says the investigation is heading in the right direction.
We have made substantial progress in these last 36, 48 hours thanks to the technical capabilities of the FBI and our partnerships. And I do believe we are looking at people who, as we say, are persons of interest. But as you know, with any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved. And that's the stage we're at right now.
The FBI says the number of tips coming in increased significantly after these images and footage were released to the public. NBC News reports the Guthrie family did not recognize this person at Nancy's door the morning she was reported missing. They are asking anyone and everyone to just look at the face, the way this person walks and behaves, to see if it triggers any sort of feelings that they look and behave like someone they know or may have seen. No tip is too small. Now, hours after the footage was released, a number of investigators rushed to Rio Rico, Arizona, south of Tucson, where they briefly detained and questioned a man before releasing them. John and Sandra, if we get anything on this new search that we're watching right now that the FBI just talked about, we will definitely bring that to you.
Wondering if they're searching the route in case something might have been thrown out of the car. We'll see if that yields any more evidence. Alicia Acuna for us. Great reporting you've been doing. Thanks so much for joining us. Sandra?
All right, Paul Mauro is retired NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor. He's live on the ground in Tucson, Arizona for us. So, Paul, we got those pictures from the FBI about this time yesterday. So where are we 24 hours later?
Well, Sandra, as you know, last night there was somebody who was detained, quote unquote, by authorities here in the hopes that that was going to pan out. And let's recognize they had enough to get a search warrant, which is not a low bar. You had to get probable cause from a judge to go in and search the home of his in-laws where he was living. So far that looks like that lead has washed out. So you're back to square one, assuming he is completely washed out, and you're back to looking at that video, trying to find, for instance, where some of the items he's wearing might have been purchased. Remember something, as I said last hour, the Bureau put together the case of the D.C. bombing that had been unsolved for 4 years, that attempted bombing of the DNC and RNC. From the purchase of the batteries was a significant break in that case 4 years earlier. You can go back and do this kind of purchase history. It's painstaking work, but you can do it. They did it there. I'm sure they're doing it here. And they're also, I am sure, trying to get more video from the location or anywhere using the same technique. That is to say, taking stuff that was cached, likely in the Wi-Fi system, and see if you can translate those bits and bytes into usable video and maybe get an image of this person walking, because that's one of the most dispositive things about a person's identification.
And one of the most, one of the things that stuck out to us the most when we first saw these pictures, and as we look at them now, is the obvious gun present as he approached the front door. James Gagliano, the retired FBI supervisory agent, basically is calling into question whether or not this is a professional. Listen.
I have never, ever seen a bad guy carry a pistol like that. I've heard it discussed and described as a Mexican carry. That is not what that is. That carry is where you put an unholstered firearm inside your waistband and then pull your shirt out over the front of it. That pistol there for intimidation purposes, or are we dealing with a non-professional?
What conclusions have you come to about that, Paul?
I don't think there's any question that it's a non-professional, especially when you consider that as he approaches the front door, he puts his head down. I guess he did some minor surveillance at the least, because I think he at least believes that there's a potential camera above him. But then when he gets to the front door and he spots the live Nest camera that we've all seen now, he very casually goes back, pulls up a bush, and somehow or other thinks that he can affix a bush to the front of the camera. I don't even see how you would do that. There's something very sort of slow and casual in the way he behaves here that, to my mind, makes him a little bit low functioning. Who would think that would even be possible? So, I think James is right. I don't think this is anybody who's done a lot of professional crime, certainly, irrespective of how he carries the gun. But, I have to say, he pulls that camera off. And let's remember something. That camera, as I said earlier, it reports to the Wi-Fi system. Now, unless he badly damaged it when he pulled it off, these are battery-powered systems. It's still powered up when he pulls it off. It should still be reporting until it goes out of range. And some of these have a range of 100, 150 feet, depending on the strength of the Wi-Fi you have. So I'm sure they went with the bits and bytes that they had up front, the code that they could as fast as possible in 10 days to make a video out of that code. But there may be more off the same camera, never mind another camera, where he takes that device, because I haven't heard they found the device. Maybe he took it with him, he put it in the car. You may get audio off of that as well. These devices take audio in as well. So that's the kind of thing I'm sure that they're crunching on very hard. And let's hope that they have enough that they can put this together again with the help of the Google text.
Yeah, we certainly hope they have more evidence than they're letting on, and hopefully it is leading them to this individual. Paul, Harvey Levin also weighed in on what this person was wearing. We've all had a chance to take it in, and we've identified, obviously, the very different gloves, the backpack with the reflectors. There's obviously the ski mask. There's a lot happening there, and he comes to this conclusion about somebody out there must know something about his clothing. Listen.
I think what he's wearing, aside from the fact that somebody may be familiar with it, they are going to try to find out who bought it, and if they bought it within a fairly narrow time frame before this, because these are not things that I would think people just ordinarily have. I mean, the gloves are bizarre.
I mean, or are they? I mean, what have you been able to determine about that? And will the clothing ultimately help them find Nancy?
It certainly could. I actually would go to an item that at least I didn't hear him mention there. He may have mentioned it, which is the sweatshirt. I've seen a couple of pretty compelling matches to that sweatshirt. It's not a cheap item, not super expensive, but it's not a run-of-the-mill sweatshirt that maybe you're going to get at Walmart or something like that. When you take that data point, marry it to even the shoes, I've seen a couple of pretty compelling comparisons to what the shoes might be. Take that, add to it the knapsack, etc., and you got a number of disparate data points that you hope coalesce on one person either buying them online, or you can go to, especially when you have the reach of the FBI, even if it's a European or an Asian company, you have the legal attaché overseas who can run the case from over there, go to the company, go to the factory. They've done this with car stuff to figure out how to get information out of the computer in the car, and you have a lot of reach here, and you may be able to narrow down a fairly narrow pool of people who have all of these purchases in common, and then you look at, well, who around Tucson has done that, and never mind where were they night of. It all takes time. That's the key. AI can only do so much, and it's still in its beginning stages. But this is the kind of sweat equity that in Kohlberger took 6 weeks. So just because we're 10 days out, that doesn't mean you're not going to solve this. The problem in this one is, of course, that you have the added impetus of everybody's hopeful for the return of Nancy Guthrie.
Absolutely. New York Post cover today. Camera caught masked man at the door of Savannah Guthrie's home. Terror in the night, and that certainly it was. We fear for her, and we hope they're ultimately led to her. Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.